What's up, and welcome to 2 a.m. Reads with Cebu. I am Cebu, and welcome to my reading vlog. So, today we are starting my reading vlog, which is reading books in series that I am currently on. So I've chosen four that I've had releases in the last few months. So from like November or so up until like this month. And throughout the course of this video, I will be kind of talking about why I continued on in this book series, and what I feel about the current books that I'm on, and if I will continue on that series, if it's still more books that are going to be published in it, or how I feel about the conclusion of the series, because I think two of them, or one of them that I know for sure, it's a duology. So yeah, so let's go on to the first book. So we're back about 3 hours later, and I just finished the first book for this vlog, which is The Font of Creation, At the Font of Creation by Toby Ogudiring. I learned this was listening to an audiobook. Sorry for the pronunciation. So this is part of the duology Guardians of the Gods. So I read the first book last year, and I got it as an ARC from Tor. And the first book in the series is In the Shadow of the Fall. So when I read In the Shadow of the Fall, I rated it a 5-star. I loved it so much. It's a novella, so you get through it quite quickly, and so it's a duology of two novellas. Yes, so you get through the books quite quickly. The first book I rated it a 5. I really loved it. I loved the main character, Ashake. So, premise of this book, let me just read the description for you so that I can be thorough. So it says, Ashake is an acolyte in the temple of Ifa, yearning for the day she's made a priest and sent out into the world to serve the Orisha. But all of the acolytes, she's the only one the Orisha refuses to speak to. For years, she has watched from the sidelines as peer after peer passes her by and ascends to full priesthood. Desperate, Ashake attempts to summon and trap an Orisha, any Orisha. Instead, she experiences a vision so terrible it draws the attention of a powerful enemy saint and thrusts Ashake into the shadow of a century-old war that has shattered the very foundation of her world. So this is the description for In the Shadow of the Fall, which is the first book in the series. And my god, the book was so good. It delivered more than the description. So you get to learn about Ashake's journey in the sacred grove, where she is an acolyte, and you see her form friendships with her best friend, and with a girl who becomes her best friend over time. And the best friend graduates, but then she gets desperate, like the description says, and summons Orisha, and things go crazy. And what I loved about the first book, and I feel like the second book also delivered on, was the pacing. It was fast. The pacing, like things were moving. With each chapter, they were moving. And even though it is a dual POV, so you get Ashake's perspective of the world, but you also get a perspective of the I don't know if this is a spoiler, but anyways, of the spirit that she releases, basically. And then you get that perspective as well. And I love it because as the book unfolds, like the second POV picks up where the other one left off, kind of. Or in some places, it connects the dots of what happened in the previous chapter and foreshadows what's going to happen in the next chapter, which I really loved. The ending of the first book is what drew me to want to read the second book, and I'm telling you, I didn't even read the description of the second book. I just saw that it got released and I was like, I need to read it. And for both books, I read them in tandem. So I read both the audio and the ebook for both of them, and I really enjoyed doing that. It was the experience very much so immersive, and I really did enjoy myself. So the second book picks up at when she now has become an Idan, so she carries now the Orisha. Spoiler, that's how the first book ends. Now she carries the Orisha, and now she has to grapple with that and find a way to escape the god killer, which is the spirit that she released when she did the ceremony to capture an Orisha. So you go through that, and still you get the two perspectives, the perspective of the god killer as well as Ashake's perspective, but also you get the perspectives of the Orisha inside of her head. And it's just like, the writing is so immaculate. It doesn't feel crowded, because I feel like sometimes when you're hearing so many voices, it can feel very crowded and you don't get a sense of who is speaking. And this book did not do that. Every single character is well defined and well built out, that they are very distinct. So you know the voice of each character, you know their demeanor. So even like the Orishas, because there's 4 Orishas that live within her, and you get to see each of their characters when they take over, or they voice something, or they warn her, because they have distinct characteristics. The climax of the second book, it took me by, I was in it. I didn't want to put the book down. I wanted to finish it. I wanted to know what happened, what's happening. And and again, the nice thing that I like about this duology, the ending was very satisfying. I really did enjoy the ending of this book. I didn't feel like I was missing something when the book ended. It felt complete. It felt like all the answers, all the questions that I had were answered, and the ending was so good. A duology that I would compare it to, which is also a duology that I rated 5 for both books, is this Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron. I enjoyed those books so much, and I read both of them in the period of 24 hours, maybe 48. I couldn't put it down. It was so good. The ending was satisfying, and the pacing, it was very consistent throughout both books. There weren't a lot of quiet moments, but even when there were quiet moments, it still felt like the plot of the story was moving. And even in that book, similar to the Guardian of the Gods duology, you fall in love with the characters, and you want them to be safe. You want things to turn out in their favor, but you also are intrigued by the plot and wanting to know what's happening. And this book was so good. So 5-star, I would rate the entire series a 5-star, and I cannot wait to see what Toby releases in the future, because I will read it, definitely. So now it is on to the second book for this video. So I'm back for the second book for the series, Mbuyile. So the 5th book is Guilt and Ginatan by Mia Manasala for the Tita Rose's Kitchen Mystery. Yes, so this is the 5th book in this series. So I started reading this series back in 2023, and I have had a really good experience with this series. So for example, the first book, Arsenic and Adobo, I rated it a 4.75. Homicide and Halo Halo, I rated it a 5. Blackmail at Bimbinga, I rated it a 4.75. Murder and Mammon, I rated it a 4.5. And today's book, Guilt and Ginatan, I am rating it a 5-star. I loved going back into this world. I love cozy mysteries because for me they're so comforting, they're easygoing, low stakes, things are predictable but you don't care. It's just fun, and this book delivered on those elements that I enjoy in a cozy mystery. It did. So we got back to Layla, her friends, and her shenanigans. We got to see the aunties again, which was so sweet and so nice. So the focus from Layla's family friend circle is Adina, who is accused of murdering somebody because she found the person's body in a corn maze during the festival in Shady Palms, which is the town that we're in for this book. And the unfolding of the events and kind of the competitiveness or the tussling between Layla and Adina's girlfriend with regards to I want to help her get exonerated from this, I don't want her to fall for this, and all of that. And also seeing Adina's progression, the progression of Adina's relationship with Jay, because they got together I think in the third book, at the end of the third book, yes. And seeing that and seeing the growth of Layla's business, that was really good. I don't have much to say about this because cozy mysteries typically have the same framing or same pattern of events of how things are gonna unfold. So there's not a lot to say, but I really did enjoy this book. It was a 5-star, and I think I need to go back to reading cozy mysteries a lot more because I have a few of my favorites that I have enjoyed. I think I did read one earlier this year, if I'm not lying. Yes, I think I did. From one of my favorite authors, Valerie Barnes. I love that series as well. So yeah, Guilt and Ginatan from Tita Rosa's Kitchen Mystery, book 5, 5 stars. So that's good. And when I was going over my story graph, I realized that Mia has a 6th book in this series, which was released this year, and actually realized that Guilt and Ginatan was released last year. Yeah. But I have a new book that I have to add to my to-read list, so it's all good. So with that, let's go on to the next book. So we are back with the third book for this video, which is Before We Forget Kindness, from the book series Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. Yes, Toshikazu Kawaguchi. Yes. So I started reading this series back in that's a reread, back in 2023. Yes, and I literally read the first 4 books in 2 days. I read the first 4 books in 2 days, all of them, and it was really good. I loved it because it's magical realism, and it's in a coffee shop. It feels very cozy when you're reading it, and it's just it has those calm, soothing vibes that make you feel happy, even though a subject matter that is being discussed is deep, heavy. We're talking loss, grief, regret, wanting for things to be different, or saying the words that are left unspoken without fear. And the books are stunning. Yeah. So the first 4 books, which of the series are all rated 4.75 stars. It can be a 5. Look at it now, I will change it to a 5. So the first book in the series is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Second book is Tales from the Cafe. Third book, Before the Memory Fades. Fourth book, Before We Say Goodbye. And then this is the fifth book in the series that I was reading today, which is Before We Forget Kindness. And I will rate this a 5. This vlog is going good, I'm happy, yay. So we're rating it a 5, and the reason why I'm rating it a 5 is that it continues like the continues the journey into the books, right? Like you feel like that feeling of reading a series. You're back into the world in the cafe, and you're having all these memories of the previous books and being reacquainted with these characters, and you're seeing these new people going through this process of this cafe. And there's a lot of new lore that is being explored in this book too. It does that in the series, and it is so good, so good. So if I didn't explain it, I probably didn't. So the premise is that it's this cafe in Japan, in Tokyo, and there is a chair there, table in the cafe, where if you sit in the chair that the ghost lady occupies, it's crazy law of the book, but anyways, if you sit in that chair when she gets up to go to the bathroom, you'll be able to travel back in time to a moment. But there are a few rules. So you have to be like one of the ladies. It was Kai, the first one, and then I forgot the second one who took over from her, who now, so she will brew the coffee for you, and you have to drink the coffee before it gets cold. One of the rules: if you don't finish the coffee, then you'll become the ghost and sit in that chair. And you can only see people who have visited that cafe before at any point in time. So that is the premise of it. So you go through, so each book is structured such that you are going through 4 stories. So it's 4 big chapters in each of the books, and you see the reasonings of the people why they want to go back in time, sometimes jump forward in time. Some crazy stuff happened in this book, and I was just like, wow, it was so good. And you can like the reasoning behind why the people want to go back in time, the people they want to see, the words they want to say, if they say those words, and like what the experience is like. Some person gets cursed, there's that too, for pushing the lady off that chair. But there's all of that, and I find that really like, as someone who likes to sit and think and ponder off unsaid words and stuff like that, it's just in the feels. Beautiful quotes, beautiful James, 5-star. And the 6th book of the series is getting released. At this point, it's still the Japanese version of it. We don't know when the English translation is coming. But when it comes, I am getting it. I am reading it. So the title of the book is Before We Realize Our Affections. I'll probably put the cover somewhere here. Before We Realize Our Affection. And it's getting released this month. Yes? No, it got released last year. So hopefully we can get a 6th book, the English translation, sometime towards the end of this year or early 2026, which would make me very happy. So now that we're riding on the high of another 5-star, let us get to the last book of this let's get to the last book of this vlog. So we're back for what was supposed to be book 4 for this vlog, but we seem to have come across a little bit of an issue. So the 4th book for this series, for this video, is supposed to be Don't Fear the Ripper from the Indian Lake trilogy by Stephen Graham Jones. I read the first book and I gave it a 3.5. It was really good, even though it took me a while to finish it, because it was good, but it's like it's not those kinds of books that you can read and finish in one sitting. For me, it wasn't that. So I took my time with that one, but it was a 3.5. It was really good. So I was like, okay, this is one of the series that I did say I want to continue in, so let me start with Don't Fear the Ripper. And I read about 13% of the way through, and I was like, I don't think I'm in the mood to read this. And I have been, like, for 2024 I read a few horrors that I did enjoy, and it's a genre that I've like told myself that this year I want to read more of. But this book, I don't feel like I am ready for it, and I did not put it down because I didn't enjoy it. I really did enjoy the chapters that I read, like going back to what happened in the previous book, and the scary things that are starting to happen in this book, and feeling as if the nightmare is not over. I really did enjoy that, but I also realized that if I continue reading this book now, I will give it a low rating because I am not in the mood to read this, and I feel like that is unfair to the book. So I decided to put it down. So for this book, we don't have a rating, unfortunately, but I will finish this trilogy because I really do want to read it. But I feel like it's one of those books that I just want to take my time with it and enjoy it, because it is a really good book. So yeah, no rating for this one, but we did have 3 books that we gave 4 to 5 stars. I don't remember, guys, it's been a while since I've been filming this. So yeah, I gave good rating to those books, and I really did enjoy filming this vlog. So guys, what do you think about the series that I've mentioned in this video? Books from these authors, did you enjoy them? Did you not enjoy them? What part of the series are you in these books? And again, based on my enjoyment of these books, what other books would you recommend that are very similar to these? And I'll try and get to them and read them. And with that being said, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. And if you like this video, please like. If you have any suggestions and recommendations for me, please comment them down below. And share the video to people who you think might be interested in seeing me talk about these books. And with that, see you next time. Bye.